Good morning, everyone, or wherever you are. Good evening, good afternoon. Special welcome to all the sisters who are joining live, and also love and welcome to everyone listening later. If you haven't tuned in to what I've been starting to share here about what I'm calling the wisdom of the courtesans, then there is another live stream that I did a few weeks ago and some posts here as well. And if you want to tune into them, all you need to do is go to the, what do you call it? The video section, and that'll be the one where you'll find the latest live stream on there before this one. So all of you who are part of this private community here, my name is Devashi, and in case some of you don't know me so well, which I think quite a few of you don't yet, I want to let you know that in the past, my focus was so much on female sexuality from a very sacred and holistic perspective. And I focused on that for so long because I know, and we all know, don't we, that the consciousness that we're embodying, the vibration that we are, like our essence, our soul, is truly, truly inhabiting us or not in sex, in intimacy, isn't it? Because if you really feel into it, if you think about this for a moment with me, your unique frequency, the divine current that you are uniquely, when that is fully earthed and grounded all the way down to your yoni, to your powerful sacral base energies, this is really the place where we get to actually really express in a very real way the truth of who you are and that expression of your own real authentic energy. However, when we are not so in alignment with it and our expression of ourselves sexually is not as authentic as it could be, that hurts us. Right? It impacts us deeply and creates fragmentation. And if you just look at it energetically, you know, as this being that you are, and if you don't allow the truth of who you know yourself to be as a spirit and what you really feel in your heart and in your body at the level of sensation, if that's not congruently being grounded and anchored through you, through your sexual center, then there are consequences for that misalignment, and that shows up in our lives as so many things, from pain to just a huge dissatisfaction and breakdown of intimacy, and you know, a whole lot of discord, and just it goes on and on and on and on and on. So in the past, I focused so much on really embodying right down through our pelvis, through our sexual organs, and tracking our own energy through our pleasure current. And I did that for a long time through body work, and then that later evolved into creating a embodiment practice for women called Tigress Yoga, and that has also evolved now into some other offerings, which I'm not focusing on in this particular live stream, but I wanted to mention that that's very much been my background. And along the way, I integrated some deeper therapeutic skills and research and training into my work, because that level of emotional intelligence for us as women is so integral. It is for all of us, right? However, our connection to feeling, to the nuance and the subtleties of feeling, this is a massively significant part of what makes up feminine wisdom, right? And the gifts that we really have to bring to this world and to our partners, whoever that may be. And so, yes, what I'm doing at this point is really, really, really bringing this together of our visceral, deep experience of our authentic female sexuality with our ability to be very, very attuned to our own feelings and to our own sensations. And I wanted to start off this live stream by naming that really clear, because what this is about, you can see the title is Tapping into Your Courtesan Frequency Code. And I'm going to actually give you an experience of doing that, okay, today in this live stream. But I'm going to explain a few more things first, and then I'm going to take you on a guided journey so that you can start to feel what that is. Because you might know what I mean. You might have experiences of what I'm saying. But you know what? Unless we actually create intentional time and space to enter into something, it's like, you know, we're totally not tapping into what's really, really possible. So I'm going to offer you a taste of that. And I'm also going to explain and share more about what this journey is coming up, that some women have already started to book into and register their place in, because it is just for a small group of women to take a deep dive into this for 3 months together in the next coming few months. And yeah, it will be a 3-month immersion, and I'll tell you a bit more about that. But let me, hi to the beautiful sisters who are sending lots of love for these hearts right now. Can you let me know if this video is clear enough for you? Because I keep seeing the video getting broken up on my end. I just want to know if that's the same on your end as well. If someone could type in the comments and let me know, that would be really cool. Because if I, for some reason, need to start this again, I better do that now rather than later. Until I see someone comment, I'm just going to keep going though. Okay. Hi Tanya, hi Mon, hi Deborah, beautiful. It's so great that you're all here. Okay, so I'm going to keep going because this is such a beautiful and lush topic. Yes, our sexual priestess, courtesan frequency. I kind of defined this a bit more in the first live stream about this. But I want to just kind of recap a couple of things by saying that the courtesan frequency in a woman is the part of her that is free to be able to focus on her own growth and focus on the quality of her own experience, basically, and to know that she's being honored by who she's experiencing herself with. She's being honored for her level of alignment and connection with herself. Yeah, so she's embodying a pretty immense level of sexual sovereignty, right? Meaning she's not just there to please another. She's not just there to entertain. She's not a performer. She is a whole and embodied woman in her own right, with her own intelligence and without the attachment to having to be liked and pleasing and not upset anyone, right? Because she's in her own domain. She has her own finances. She has her own worldly freedom, okay? And the reason I'm honing in on this expression of the feminine is because this quality, this frequency is something that every single woman has inside of her, regardless of the external situation of her life, right? Whether she's married, whether she has children, whatever role she plays in the world. Because I'm not actually talking about being a prostitute or being a sacred prostitute. I'm actually talking about tapping into this level of consciousness as a female and implementing that into your world and giving it to yourself because what's at the core of being able to operate in that way is a tremendous commitment to self-nourishment. It is the foundation, it's the very base of being able to sustain that level of sexual sovereignty. Okay, and I can see some more sisters jumping on. So if anyone has anything that you want to share or ask me about as you hear me speaking, please do feel free to type in, including later on. I'll come back and share more in the comments as well. What I also have already mentioned here in this group about this quality, about this frequency, the wisdom of the courtesan in you, is that this is where real intimacy is generated from. When we have this level of freedom and autonomy within ourselves to actually be really fucking authentic and to not be so worried about all the reasons why commonly women don't allow themselves this level of freedom, of expression. And it's not just, please understand, I think I might have said this before, but it's absolutely worth saying it again. This is not about, for example, telling a guy off. This is not some superficial level of, voicing how to get your needs met and doing that in kind of clumsy ways or whatever, right? This is a level of refinement that is actually all coming from the aligned connection that you have with you. So it's like where you're even sitting inside yourself, where you're even coming from, that is all felt. That all has a massive impact, a ripple effect. It's not just about, coaching someone in the moment in sex. That's like a very surface level interpretation of what I'm meaning here. So if anyone's confused about this definition that I'm alluding to, feel free to ask, because I would really love to know if you're on the same page, because I realize that I am painting this picture and inviting you to feel into this vision and this version of you with me. And I'm like tuning into past expressions and roles that woman has had in society, namely sexual priestess and courtesan in, previous societies that have happened on this planet. And yet I'm not just meaning courtesan in the way that it was in history, or sexual priestess in the way that that was in history. I'm talking about now, here and now in modern time, and our ability to, harness the potency of those expressions that have happened, right? And allow that to come front and center into your own experience of yourself. So this is about your relationship with you. This is about your intimacy with Shakti. And when I say Shakti, I know some people think that is like a stand-in word for like a feminine God, like another way of saying God. And it may well be in some instances. But in this, I actually mean maintaining intimacy with the truth of your Shakti in terms of the actual living feminine intelligence in your body. So this somatic intelligence, of course, male and female beings, people have access to this. However, the way that it shows up in us as females is quite specific. And then, there are ways that we can tap into that to be able to build our relationship with it, which are distinctly different to what men would do and what they would be honing in on. And this partly has to do with our cultural conditioning and programming, in that I am kind of making the assumption in this conversation a little bit that, going by feeling, many of you that are part of this group, there's like about 800 women here now in this tribe, and most of you have answered some questions to join, and I've been able to feel into your energy. So I know that most of you here are all different kinds of women doing different things with your lives, and have unique relationships with your own feminine, your own masculine energy. However, there's like a predominant empathic kind of way of being amongst most of the women here in this group. And what the downside of what that can mean is that we actually need to learn how to become a little more self-orientated, and I mean that in an extremely healthy way. And this is like something that there's like a multi-generational cultural reintegrating process of our relationship with our own feminine fire, I like to call it. In other words, you could say inner masculine, but feminine fire, it has got this kind of visceral embodied sense about it for me as well, which directly relates to this living feminine intelligence that I was just talking about. Yes, so I want you to come into a place now with me where you can just pause to reflect for a second on if there is any distance, if there is any gap for you in your current expression. Just think on the last sexual experience that you had, or the last few, and just where you're at generally, roughly in your life right now as a woman, your level of connection with yourself, and how fully you allow the authenticity of your inner experience to be shared and to be made clear, so that you're really, really not leaving yourself behind, and you're allowing this somatic female intelligence within you to actually have its expression in a way that helps to reorientate your partner to connect with you more deeply, because you are already there with yourself. Okay, this is a key thing about how a sexually empowered courtesan sexual priestess woman operates. So what I just did was ask you to reflect on if there is any gap, if there is any distance between what you sense could be possible from what you're hearing me say and from what your current experience is. And a lot of women do have awareness of that gap, right? And I have asked here in this tribe for some responses around why do you think that is for you. And I'm not going to mention anyone's names here, but I'm going to say a few things that kind of encapsulate part of what was shared. And there was quite a lot that was shared. I'm just saying a few of the things, like not wanting to upset your partner as a reason to not allow this fullness of the relationship with you to be primary in the connection. And also not having the guidance in how to tune in and how to listen to even have this relationship with yourself in the first place. And another one is not taking the time for self-nourishment. And as I said before, this really evolved and free expression as a female, as a beautiful female animal, intelligent woman, it is all extending from your embodied self-care and self-attunement. And I also want to acknowledge within that some women mentioned sleep deprivation from having young kids. And there's kind of no way around that. There's a certain period of their lives where you have consented and have agreed to put being a mother first, and therefore your relationship with this particular frequency code of being a woman is just not going to be as accessible to you, okay? But even so, you probably are still having sex, sometimes even if it's less than you were before. And there's, no matter where you're at, is what I'm trying to say, no matter what your current situation is, there are ways that you can work with it to be more in harmony and more in alignment with yourself. Another concern or reason that some women gave was around financial concerns and fears and lack of security. And that's kind of tied into not wanting to upset your partner, right? And that goes to a fear of abandonment, which a few women named. And this is where it gets really intense, right? Because I'm speaking to a cultural norm that has been so fucking programmed into us as women. And I am shining the light on this. And I am very aware that there is, like a layer, like a wall culturally. It's not any one woman's fault. Please don't, feel at odds with what I'm putting forward here and just come up with all your defenses and excuses, because this is not just a personal thing only. Everything that we're experiencing extends from a more systemic level, all our traumas, everything. However, where it lands in us, there's always a way. There's always a way that we can be more in alignment with ourselves. So yeah, there is an undercurrent of fear that is it's there. And I know that some women, maybe before really looking into this conversation, weren't even acknowledging inside themselves, like, sure, you feel the dissatisfaction, but unless you've actually taken the time to really look at what is this cultural fucking wall that's there. And so to tread towards this and start to push on it, to shake that and to dismantle it, right? I'm calling us as a community to be able to see this really clear and to not be afraid of it. And I'm inviting women who feel personally ready to just go beyond that wall for you, based on where you're at right now, not transforming into something kind of like unrealistic or unattainable for you in your situation. I'm not talking about that. This is something that is very, very real and needs to be very personalized. And that's why this journey that I'm offering, that I'll tell you a bit more about at the end, is both a group experience and a private one-on-one experience. And another woman also spoke about just not knowing how to do it differently. She's recognizing, from remembering her comments, she's recognizing, yeah, she kind of is experiencing that level where that freedom isn't there. And yet, the lack of knowledge or understanding or, fire to kind of burn that fucking wall for you on a personal level, and choose to have a level of connection with your own soul and alignment with your feminine energy that, maybe you've just not even known that you can have. You can totally receive that. You can totally have that. And I get that for empathic women, it can seem initially selfish to focus on self-nourishment and self-care. And a lot of women over the past, say, 10 years or so, that's been like slowly stabilizing more, where this has now got quite a strong understanding around it of being for our well-being. And so the parts inside that feel selfish for taking care of ourselves, that's starting to fall away quite a bit. But when it comes to this specific frequency of the courtesan, sexual priestess, sexually empowered woman, this one is really where we get to anchor the most intensely. This is really, really where we get to, meet the fullness of that power within us. And so, yeah, if learning how to be a little more self-orientated in a really good, healthy way brings up some fears and concerns and trepidation, then I get it. I so get it. And just know that, like, you know, the initial collective stirrings and talk around self-care for women was new at one point. It's the same with this. This will eventually be able to become more integrated into us as individuals and into us as, you know, a collective of women who can have ease around this kind of topic and experience in our bodies. And then, you know, it moves to a more general, grounded collective understanding as well. And another sister shared so bravely that it can be easier to avoid taking responsibility for having deeper pleasure, right? Like that, the key thing that I felt there in her comment was how it's easier to avoid that. It's easier to not create space for yourself. It's easier to go along with whatever is being presented to you and attune to that. Basically, that's what it is. It's receiving that and attuning to that and aligning with that energy that's coming towards you, even if it's not actually meeting you, even if it's not actually totally making sense to your own body, and bypassing your own deeper pleasure, you know, and saying yes to that and consenting to that. That is a abandonment of self. And when it comes down to this really real physical level of our sexual expression and our female experience of sexuality, you know, this has a massive impact every time we fragment from ourselves. So there are so many reasons why this is so damn important. And I have been starting to use the term and the phrase sacred sexual medicine for us as women, because I know from how long I've been in this field, this is not just about feeling good in the moment, even though that's a good enough reason to give this to yourself. This is so fucking much more. The portals that we are as women, the gateways that we are earthed and anchored and grounded through us, through our sexuality in quite a specific way, in how we communicate with ourselves and how we share that communication with another. I feel like so much of the trajectory of the fucking human civilization is a little dependent on us getting this, of how to be receptive to our own female energy. And if we are not allowing this alignment within ourselves, we are totally contributing to the chaos and the destruction. And I know that it might, I get that there are serious predators in the world who have a lot of power, and in order to conform to the society that we're living in, we kind of need to consent to their completely unsustainable, you know, ways of doing things that are all about profit and blah, blah. I know a lot about this and I can talk to you about this. However, our capacity as living feminine intelligence, you know, we also have an impact. We're also fucking powerful, right? But we need to get that within ourselves. And we need to experience, I feel, we need to experience as women what it is like to live in that alignment with ourselves and to experience ourselves being custodians and conduits of this pure feminine current through us, so we are not strangling it, we are not also stifling it. You know, I mean, I don't even know what's possible when more women are willing to not abandon themselves anymore and to allow a deeper reverence for the feminine to happen. And I'm going to talk about men for a moment, even though I don't care what your sexual orientation is. Do what you want. Do what turns you on, right? This is not about any kind of discrimination. But in terms of healing and personal and collective healing between masculine and feminine in terms of male female in this instance, if men are not getting a realistic experience of really actually being with a woman, being with female energy, they'll never really get to know what that is. And we're also like not contributing to them connecting with it in themselves if we're hiding it from them and hiding it from ourselves. There are so many more people these days teaching about sexuality. There are so many techniques and everything that we can learn. But what I'm talking about right now, this level of alignment and connection and intentional living as women, is beyond technique, right? This is a higher awareness that we need to get interested in developing relationship with, and have the courage and the honesty with ourselves and with whoever we're choosing to share ourselves with. I'm assuming that the video is okay for everyone. It's still breaking up for me, but no one said it's really bad, so I've just kept going. I hope it's all right. It's definitely really angular and going weird on my end. Yeah. Oh, and another fear was a woman voiced of fearing that maybe her partner can't support her in finding deeper pleasure, right? Just feel all of these that I'm saying and see if any of them are true for you. Fear of taking too long for your feminine body to genuinely open, to experience the depths of your sexual pleasures. And probably one of the most painful ones would be someone voiced the unworthiness of, having someone be with you while it takes longer for you comparatively, maybe to a guy, and the unworthiness of receiving so much, right? It seems like it would be selfish or something, right? Like, are you really worth waiting around for? Okay, and I'm not speaking to this woman direct in this. I'm speaking to this fear and concern in general in women in this moment, okay? Because when we have that going on, this is such a dense collective program inside of us that is completely covering up the truth that how absolutely crazy, insane, out of alignment thinking that really is to feel unworthy of receiving our own aligned, embodied pleasure, right? And how we would think that in order to really go there and really allow it to open up and really allow the time that it takes, that it would be selfish to do that. You know what an incredible transformational gift it is, right? No matter where it goes, no matter even if you end up having like this intense multiple orgasmic experience, or whether it just goes to a certain point, when it's clean, when that expression of authenticity is flowing through the whole experience, no matter what that ends up looking like, that transforms us, that cleanses us. This is something that takes the porn out of men. This is like a reacquaintance for them and for us, right? With the real life force, yeah, that we all actually are desiring to feel more intimate with by even wanting to have sex in the first place. But if we're allowing what's going on to be like on top of our actual experience, then, no one's really there. No one's really feeling what's possible. And my gosh, there's so much to this conversation. And I feel like I want to move towards now this short guided experience to help you to dream for yourself for a moment what might be possible in your experience. And remember that this is based on where you are at. This is not aiming for something unrealistic. This is our own nature. This is the truth of feminine nature. Okay, so I'm calling it the wisdom of the courtesans to kind of like highlight this specific kind of quality of energy and expression for us. And yet I know full well that every single woman has access to this. And all of you, all of us can allow greater levels of connection, intimacy with this quality, no matter where we're at right now. You might have been hunting this edge for yourself for years, or you might be completely new to this conversation and be like, holy shit, what is she saying? Doesn't matter where you're at. You are alive. You are a woman. This is going to be relevant to you. So what it takes is having a healthy level of self-orientation. And what I actually mean by that, in order for you to feel what I mean when I say that, is to have that direct connection, intimacy, relationship with the living feminine intelligence inside of you, which you will experience as, internal sensation. That's like a guidance system through your senses, and you will also experience it through your feelings. And these levels of this deeper feminine nature that lives inside of us are often not, we're often not fluent in our communication with these parts of ourselves unless we've decided to really create time and space to develop that relationship. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen from believing it and saying, yeah, this is important. Knowing about it, knowing a lot about it doesn't make the difference. Going in to, prioritize and to decide to be intentional about connecting deeper here for you, and then being able to allow that to come out in your experiences that you're having, whether you are with yourself in your own life in a sexually intimate moment, or whether you're sharing that with someone else. Either way, it's still going to be relevant. And so, like I said, whatever experience you're having now, it also is the same for whether you have a partner or not right now, right? Like maybe if you don't have a partner, maybe, something to do with that is because your magnetism isn't really flowing through you because you're not even in connection with this deeper feminine current that I'm talking about right now. And so basically wherever you're at, whatever's going on for you in your life, there is a way that you can allow more of this. So let's go on a little journey, because unless we give ourselves space, we need a lot of space. We need intentional decision and the time and the space to get to know ourselves more, okay? And so if you are here with me now live, or you are listening later on, this is a short experience, but I want you to actually give this to yourself, okay? So if you know that you aren't in the space to go and have an inner journey here that I'm going to guide for you, then I'm actually going to say to switch this off right now and come back to it later, okay? So this is not something to do in your head. This is not something to think your way through. You want to actually let go of everything else that you're doing, all right? Come and sit wherever you are. Put your feet on the ground if you can. That would be helpful for what we're doing here. Put your feet on the ground and let your eyes close. So you just disengage from everything else, all the noise, and allow yourself to connect just with you and your breath and your energy. Okay, this is just a short time, but it can be a potent experience for you if you are intentional about creating this space for yourself. Okay, so if you're with me now, let your eyes close. And I want to invite you to feel your own body. Feel inside your own body with your breath. And as soon as I go in and do that, I want to invite you to feel this as well, like this reverence for this aliveness inside of you. This force of nature that's living within you, this deeper feminine intelligence through your senses, through your breath, through your body. And bring awareness to the center of your chest and keep it there as you breathe in and out. And allow whatever you're feeling to take up more space. Yeah, so breathe into whatever you're feeling. You might feel excited, you might feel scared, whatever it is, just breathe into that and let it be here. And then let your spine relax, let your whole pelvis drop. And your hips, let your hips release, let your yoni relax. Bring awareness down your thighs, down your legs to your feet. And from the soles of your feet and from the very base of your body, feel a thick red cord going all the way down. All the way down, connecting through the floor, traveling deep, deep, deep inside of Mother Earth. Let it go all the way down. I like to visualize like this alive, pulsing, like actual umbilical cord. It has blood, like maybe that's just me. Do whatever turns you on. Just have it connect all the way down into the very, very center of Mother Earth. Allowing your energy to be anchored and received at the very core of this planet. It's like claiming your space, acknowledging the space that you inhabit and that you can choose to connect with more deeply. You feel this established, feel this rooted in and down and grounded. And then let awareness rise up through your base, all the way up through your spine, into the very top of your head. And feel here like a golden energy, a golden light, a pillar traveling all the way up. And let this continuously lift higher and higher, effortlessly raising your awareness as high up as you possibly can. Seeing it be clear and easy, connecting to the most infinite source of light you can imagine. Golden energy. Connecting you with your unlimited self. Your infinite nature. And with your awareness up really high in this place, I want to invite you to see a doorway in front of you. Any kind of doorway that comes to your awareness right now is perfect. And see yourself opening that door, grasping that handle, and choosing to step through to the other side, knowing that you're about to see before you your evolved courtesan self. And you've opened the door, and you see her in front of you, and you feel her energy. And just take a moment to recalibrate this. You feel her, you're breathing her in, you're letting her impact you. Whatever sense, whatever you can imagine You already know what's possible here. Your subconscious mind already knows everything that I've been saying. And you know what's available to you, and you feel your highest expression of this, and you see it in front of you. And you're going to take her hand now, and she's going to show you a glimpse of looking back on yourself in this world, in the life that you have on planet Earth. And she's going to show you an image of where you're at right now. And you're going to see this scene playing before you really clearly, easily. And it might bring up some feelings for you. It might bring up some awareness, some insights. Allow whatever you're feeling to be here. And you just take a moment to put your attention back on her again, your evolved courtesan self. You're grabbing both of her hands now and you're looking into her eyes. And you're just breathing in and allowing yourself to receive more of this code in how it uniquely wants to operate and flow through you. She's basically just radiating where she's at, and you're receiving this. You're receiving this current and you're feeling it impact you. You're feeling it like absorb into your cells. And you close your eyes and you allow yourself to see another image of you and your life on earth with more of this code flowing freely through your body, through your expression, through your connection with yourself. And you see what's possible. You see how things can be a little bit different. And you notice how it feels to be more aligned and attuned with yourself. Just staying with this to see it happening, feel it going on. And notice how you rest into your body. Notice the level of quality you feel in yourself and in your life with more of this code in your cells of your body downloaded into you. And you take a pause from that, you just come back and you feel that radiation from her even more. And you're ready now to let it in more. You're ready to breathe it into your whole body, even in ways that you don't consciously understand just yet. And you're just letting it flood you, and it feels really, really good. And you're letting it in. You're letting in this freedom. You're letting in this deeper embodiment of the love that you are, with courage and with this renewed commitment to allowing more of this quality into your life. And now you let yourself see a future vision further into the future, maybe 6 or 12 months from now, whatever is meaningful to you in this moment. And you see this happening before you. Your eyes are open or closed, whatever works for you, and you're watching yourself 6 to 12 months from now, imagining that you've allowed yourself to really get acquainted with your courtesan frequency code. Notice what's going on in your life. Notice how you feel in your body. Noticing how you are sexually, the level of connection with the living feminine intelligence in your body, to receive, how you feel about receiving, the quality of connection you have and don't have, anymore in your life, what you choose now, the ripple effect on the people around you, children, partners, friends, community, society, the planet. Just trust what comes to your awareness, knowing that whatever you see is within the realm of possibility. And whatever that is to you in this moment, you just smile on that. Smile on that and let it be what it is. And you find yourself again, you're still holding her hand, your evolved courtesan self. You're holding her hand. And you're saying a goodbye for now, because you're about to fully come back down into your body, following this golden pillar, this golden light energy, knowing that this evolved courtesan self that you saw is an integral part of your own being. She's always with you. But now you're learning how to integrate this more. And so you're just coming back fully. Just feel your body sitting in this position that you're sitting in chair that you might be sitting in, feeling where your feet touch the floor, feeling that red, alive umbilical cord anchoring you, rooting you down into Mother Earth, feeling your breath in your whole body. Take a couple of big deep breaths, so you're breathing right down to your lower belly and then up through your chest, sides, back of your ribs. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and stay with it as long as you want. And this quick little journey is just to get a glimpse, because it's so important that you allow yourself to dream, that you allow yourself to tap into imagination, to vision, because some of what this leans into may not be immediately accessible in your conscious mind, but the deeper part of you does know already. So we're allowing that to have its space so that you can tune in to what else might be possible for you that in an ordinary waking state might be not as clear. So I want to now talk about, a couple of women have said before, well, in order to really have more of this in my life, in order to really get closer to this, I kind of need to work on other stuff first. So I want to respond directly to that comment, because that's kind of what this program I'm offering is, right? They're going to be action steps for you to take. There's going to be content there for you to absorb and to receive and to take in and to implement. But you're also going to be getting one-on-one time, because as motivating and amazing as it is to be able to connect as a small, contained, private group to unearth what has previously been collectively, dulled down in us, it helps to open that up so much when shared in a focused, intentional group space. But we do have these places inside of us that need personalized attention, and that's why both are included in this. Because, for example, the women that have signed up already, who are at quite different places in themselves, by the way, and that's part of the magic of creating a group experience where you get to feel where other people are really at with this, and they're being honest and courageous and brave and opening up and sharing, their experience and what they would like to experience. There's a range of different kind of levels of evolution within this tribe already, which is perfect. It's so amazing for this journey. And of course, it's not just about stepping into this future you only. It's not just about following, certain things to do things differently. It's about addressing the painful places. It's about actually working with the fears that are there. It's about getting very real and practical. What does that take for you? And being able to have the privacy and connection to be guided through those places. So basically, if you feel like, oh, but I need to be in a different place in myself, I need to be somewhere other than where I am to partake in this, I want to let you know that it's actually part of the process that you would get to address whatever it is that is holding you back from allowing more of this particular frequency of your evolved courtesan self to be more present in your life. It's part of this process. And you know what? Without an intentional focus, you're probably not going to go here. You're probably, actually, I want to say you're definitely not going to go to the places that we're opening up in this group. You just wouldn't, right? And those of you who've been here since January or before, and you have been in or witnessed the Embody Your Vision video series that women were doing. So you could see that women were getting on video and sharing deeply and basically creating accountability for themselves. We're going to be doing that in this program and quite a lot more. Okay, so you are going to be doing things that you totally wouldn't be doing if you're just attempting to navigate this on your own. It's not even possible. The level of, rawness and authenticity that you will have to be within yourself by doing this program is going to take you far further than where you would be able to go on your own. And I don't really care how experienced you are with these kinds of realms. Always when there is intentional, intimate group space, it amplifies what we can allow for ourselves. So imagine what might be possible for you if you decided to devote 3 months of your life to stepping into and allowing yourself to receive more of your own amazing, intelligent Shakti, and to enliven your relationship with her. That's what we're really doing here. And you will see actual changes for sure in your experiences. Okay. So yeah, there's heaps of momentum and motivation and accountability. This is not like a, an online course with a platform that you log into and it's not like that. This is an alive experience. It happens within the 3 months. You're actually participating on a weekly basis with this group of women, and it's happening August, September, and October. Okay, and through that time frame, there is a combination of the group processes and the private intimate coaching sessions, which go where you need it to go for you in a very personalized way. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that I've been doing with women for a long time, is the one-on-one work and the transformational group work as well. So I am really, really happy about being able to focus on this specifically, because although everything that I've shared and offered and created in the world is about this, we haven't actually named this so clearly and ventured into this as a very contained, focused journey. And that's why I'm really excited about this. So there are a couple of women who have already signed up. It isn't starting till August, but this is something that if it's time for you to put attention on this. If this is calling to you, you already know. So please private message me, email me, or put something in the comments and say you want more information. I have more information that I can send to you by email. And then what we do is we have a chat on Skype to see if you're interested to basically, this is where you get to find out how is this relevant to you in your situation, and I help you to see what that is. Okay, and then from there we go further into registering you into the program. So this is a 3-month amazing deep immersion into embodying the frequency, the code of your evolved courtesan self, and to implement that here and now into your body and into your life. Because this is about sex and your female power, but the ripple effect of that is actually going to completely change the quality of everything that you allow into your environment, into your world. It's the way that you're running your energy, the way that you hold yourself, the way that you relate with yourself. And my experience of life is that everything is an extension of that. And yeah, that's why this is such a potent place to focus on. All right, so whether or not it's your time to come with us on this amazing dive, I hope that you've been able to just tune in to more of this, because my primary interest in having this focus is that more and more women are willing to look at this area of their life and ask themselves some important questions, okay? Because it's time to no longer keep the lid on this amazing experience that's happening within us and trying to live apart from that and on top of that, right? Like this level that, you know, so many people are consenting as their reality that they're saying is okay for them. And yet under here is where all the aliveness is and where everything that you really want is extending from. But we need to be brave, and we need to be courageous, and we need to get that this is integral to our self-care. So that's my message for you all today, and I look forward to hearing what you want to share or anything you want me to elaborate on. Any questions that you have in the comments, and I'll come back and check on them later. Lots of love, beautiful sisters. Have an amazing weekend.